Alright, so here we go. We're going to be doing this Sith Raid with a voiceover, and what I'm going to do is just go over some of the key things that we need. So the first thing is when the battle first starts, you need to get 3 debuffs, preferably on 5s, Arc, and Echo. Sometimes you're forced, if you want to do the run without retreating, you're forced to do Rex with the debuff. I've done both Rex with debuff and Rex without a debuff in the start, and it makes no difference, 0 difference. So in these videos here, you'll see me going straight for Nihilist, skipping the cleanse. There's my 3 debuffs, so now everything is on the same cooldown, which is key for part 1. Part 2 is you pretty much just get to the cooldown timers. Once they are completely ready to go for him to use, he should only use 2. Sometimes he'll use 3. If he uses 3, you have to restart. If he uses 2, he should use his troop down after annihilate. So he should annihilate somebody, and then he will put his troops down, and then he'll drain next turn, which is what we need. So here we go, coming up next turn. Okay. So Arc has the annihilation protection. I know Rex has his cleanse, but we didn't need it. There we go. Okay, perfect. That's exactly what we need. So do you see how Drain's not on cooldown? That's exactly what we need. So I like to pick up the minions in a special order. Whenever GAS attacks, I usually always attack Darth Nihilus, and whenever Rex has Annihilate, same thing. I try not to waste those on the minions. Pretty much now that the raid is set up like this, he will never put troops down and drain you at the same time, giving you another chance to fail the raid. Now that he drops troops, that means that you should always have 2 or 3 annihilation protection buffs going on at the same time. Right now we only have 2, one on GAS and one on Rex, but you'll see. Another good trick is whenever you're going through this, I always save my cleanse. You'll see Rex still has his cleanse right here, and I'll save it for the next turn, usually. Okay, so Darth Nihilus gains speed the more you attack him. That's why you attack the minions. And there's a trick that I've learned: after you kill 1 minion, or if you have a weakened minion, you kill them first, and then by that time, if Nihilus is about 1/3 to 1/2 of his turn meter, then you might as well start attacking him anyway, because he's just going to be taking that turn. So, but you don't want to feed him too much turn meter, like 5s in his assist. You don't want to continuously do it on Darth Nihilus. I don't really do that very often. I mostly use that to make sure we clear the minions, and that's about it. So this raid is actually a wrap right here. I wish we could put it on auto, but there's just a couple things you have to watch out for, that's all. So as long as he doesn't actually drain and reduce his cooldowns on you, you're good to go. Obviously, right at the enrage part, you'll see here we have 2 turns now until enrage. The same concept remains. The same concept remains. So you'll see. We just have to do a little bit of math, but not really. If you just trust your instincts on whenever he drains, he's going to annihilate, then you're good to go. Now, if you don't do the raid like this, it's definitely doable with gas, but it's not nearly as reliable. The reliability comes from the minion drop and the drain not being on the same cooldown. If they are on the same cooldown, there's a chance that he'll only do one of them, or he'll do them out of order, messing your run up. I've had that happen so many times. I'm at the last annihilate for Rex, and he just doesn't annihilate, getting rid of my immunity buff, and I don't have another one, so I fail. Okay, enrage time. So real quick, there's before enrage on how to use your debuffs and keeping track of when the annihilate's coming up, and then there's this part right here where only gas has the debuff that cannot be cleansed. The 5's debuff can be cleansed, and this is the last turn that this will happen. As soon as he drains, everyone will have the debuff, and then from there on, you have to treat his drain turn with a buff immunity to the annihilate every time. But this time, if you see, he only needs one debuff to go to annihilate, so I need to make sure that when he drains gas right here, he's going to annihilate, so I have that protection. So I just wanted to go over that just real quick. And like I said, I always go for minions until it's Gas's turn or Rex annihilate. That was good timing. Okay, so now everyone has debuffs, so that means every time from here on, the drain turn will require you to have a annihilation cleanse, which you'll see. And it makes it so much easier when you have the debuff, or I'm sorry, not the debuff, the buff immunity from the cleanse, or I'm sorry, not the cleanse, the annihilate. One turn before the drain, it makes it that much easier. See, because here we have we have 3 debuff, or I'm sorry, annihilation buffs in total right now. And then here in one more turn, we're going to have 4 on the field. We're going to have 4 of them, which is great. And you should always be cycling this between like 4 debuffs. And I always save Rex's cleanse, or I try to, unless it makes sense. Try to save his cleanse for this turn right here when he spawns his minions, to make sure that no matter what, I can have that annihilation cleanse, or not annihilation cleanse, but annihilation buff applied every time. It's like right now, I knew that by applying the cleanse, I'd get enough turn meter to also annihilate before he drains. Which is something I like to do as well, is timing the annihilation. And attacking the other minions can help you get there, because like I said before, the more you attack him, the more turn meter he gets. I wonder if I could put this on a little bit faster. Not really. That's okay. Yep. So you just rinse and repeat over and over and over. As long as you don't actually misplay, it's all yours. This gas team here, by the way, is... I think the relics, I can't remember off the top of my head because I have 2 accounts with gas with different relic levels, but I've done it with really low level 501st. As long as, in my opinion, you should be able to do this as long as you can do enough damage to kill the minions, and you have all the Zetas on gas. I don't even think you need all the Zetas on the clones, honestly. As long as you do this setup here, you should be able to do this with just like gas with all the Zetas, and then like hopefully somewhere around like G12 or better clones. I haven't tried it with that low of a team, but I guarantee it'll work. The only way it wouldn't work is if you couldn't kill the minions fast enough. That would be the only thing that would really stop you. Because I've actually considered doing this raid just to show you that you could do it without using Rex's Annihilate, which means that the battle will definitely be prolonged by a lot. It takes a long time without Annihilate. But it is possible, for sure. So right here I'm debating, do I cleanse, annihilate, or do I start attacking the minions? And as you see, I decided to cleanse. I believe this turn I completely skip the minions and go straight for, yeah, because I wanted to make sure I get the annihilate off on him. And then once this raid goes into phase 2, I put it on auto. And if I think of anything that is important to go over for phase 1, then I'll go ahead and say it in there. But otherwise, you're pretty much just watching the same play over and over and over again here. The hard work was already done before he reached like 10% health, or I'm sorry, 10% damage. And do note, I don't, when I use Echo's grenade, I do not do any AoEs that actually hit anything other than one target, typically. The reason why is because the minions are there to help you manage Darth Nihilus's turn meter. And unfortunately, GAS loves to ruin that, as you just seen. He loves to ruin it, but that's okay. I've actually learned over time to kind of just trust the turn meter. As long as you're not doing like 5s with an assist on Darth Nihilus, his turn meter should be pretty well managed. But I'm sure, you know, with different teams and different levels on your teams, your team may act a different way, so you may have to adjust fire. But as long as you do the same setup, which is get 3 debuffs in with the first attack before Darth Nihilus attacks you first with the drain, because that's his first move. You need to have 3 debuffs. As soon as you have 3 debuffs, everything will be on the same cooldown. Once everything's on the same cooldown, and he does his first special attack round after 4 turns, because they're all going to be on for the 4-turn cooldown, he has to do 2 abilities, which is drop minions and annihilate. If he does those 2 and not drain, you're good to go. You're going to be able to copy this exact run. But sometimes he has, for me, he has done all 3. He has annihilated, minion, and then drain on me before. Very, very rare, but he does it. So just watch out. So at this point we have 2 Rex Annihilates left, is my guess. And after that, we go into phase 2. And I just put it on auto, because the guild setup that we have right now, I only do this with gas, so that way my guildmates can actually do damage in phase 2. And then I use Supreme Leader Kylo Ren to finish the raid. Funny story, it actually takes me longer to do phase 1 and auto, like 50% of phase 2. It takes me longer to do that than the entire raid with Supreme Leader. Silly. And I don't like it when on these turns right here, you just seen where gas just went first, but typically, like I said before, gas attacks Darth Nihilus purely. I don't ever really, I try not to use him to attack anything else. Sometimes I feel like I have to manage that turn meter to where I need gas to attack the minions to help reduce the turn meter gain on Darth Nihilus to make sure I can get an attack off, usually like cleanse or annihilate from Rex. Nothing else really. Oh, a good time to use Fives as assist. And now I know I've been saying not to use it on Darth Nihilus. But when he is like literally about to take his turn and you have Fives up to do a turn, I actually do call to assist because he's already going to be taking a turn next right after Fives. So it's just a little bit extra damage that you can fit in before his next turn. See, like right here, if Fives had his assist up, that's what I would do right now. I would have assisted and attacked. But this works real good. Yeah, I would have had the annihilate, but it's all good. It's just too short. Alright, and annihilate. Where you at? Yeah, and I did one of those things where I say, don't do this, and then I do it. Well, it was already over. I already knew Rex Annihilate was coming, so I called Echoes to assist right there with Fives. Okay, now this part I just put on auto, and surprisingly, it gets really far. It's about average, 50%, somewhere around there. I just target Scion, like that, and auto. Okay, well, we don't really care to see this on auto, so let's go ahead and speed this up. Blah, 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 blah. Look at that. So, 30 seconds remain. Full auto. Yeah, just about 50% damage. I'm sure you could do better if you actually played, but I'm okay. I'm not that big. This is way too much damage in my opinion. I'd prefer. It'd be great if I could get gas to just beat phase 1 and then do as little damage in phase 2 as possible. But whatever. Anyway, there you go. Hope you enjoy. I hope the voiceover gave you some help.